Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
The one and only Tony Dudzik, Picadian.
What is that?
It's because I'm the only one here.
I guess so. Hey, everybody, it's me, Todd, Novak, and welcome to the Guitar Knobs podcast. Tony and I are actually thrilled to death that you are here.
Yes!
Well, because we're here.
We're here. And
due to a rather ridiculous cancellation. Whatever.
Hey, whatever.
Stuff happens.
Life happens.
Yeah, and then life is happening to a lot of people. We were supposed to have another couple butts and seats, and life happened to them too. So, but that's okay, because Tony and I are going to persevere.
Yes.
We're going to pursue. I don't have any more P words to load after that. We're going to keep going with the show. That's it.
Polygons.
No, that's not at all. Pomegranates. Anyways, so
pumpkin pie.
Yeah, we got a lot of things to talk about. It's just going to be sort of
housekeeping.
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 Well, it's not. It's more than that. It's stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
We just want to have a chat.
Yeah.
Because you know what? If I was driving to work and be like, "Yeah, guys, I still want to have a talk with y'all," because anyways,
that's what they do.
Yeah.
That's what everyone does.
Yes. So, announcements.
Yes.
We got sent in a really cool one, and I wanted to share it with you because, I liked what it said. So there.
Read away.
So deal with it, people.
I like it.
Don't hit pause.
There's a lot of paragraphs, but you trust me, you will enjoy Todd's fantastic read.
So this is from one of our newest Grand Poobahs.
Enrico Fernando.
As you well know by this time, we like to ask everybody questions when they are joining up, because we want to get to know them, and B, it helps us better understand what their persuasion is. Anyways,
is that how it's pronounced?
Yes, persuasion. So he says, my main gear includes a couple of Novos and PRSs, a Moore,
not familiar,
and a Hoppus.
Definitely not familiar.
No, but let me read on, and hopefully it will enlighten.
Okay.
So he says, my favorite part of the show is the interaction between you and Tony and Jared and the other hosts. It's like meeting up for a conversation with friends, which unfortunately with work and fam and life in general, I don't get to do as much as I want to these days. I think there are a lot of us who have been there. I'm going to back up the we all.
Oh yeah, definitely.
In fact, I'm just going to interlude real quick. I remember when I moved to Minnesota, and I had a couple of little girls, and I had left a music scene in Orange County, and I was all by myself out there. I didn't know anybody. I felt so disconnected.
And then you met Prince.
I did not meet Prince. No, I didn't. But
and the rest is history.
Yeah, indeed. But I did see Queens of Stone Age at 2nd Avenue, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, back to the story. He says, obviously, the gear discovery also. Just some examples. I own a 29 pedals Una, who we've recently had on the show again, because he's great to talk to and has new stuff that's pretty rad. The aforementioned Novo guitars, also been on the show, and more because of your show. Hey, there we are.
Where's our royalties?
Even the Hoppus guitars were sparked by an interest in boutique guitar makers from listening to your show. I love this. That's what it's all about. We learn all kinds of new things about guitar stuff, and hopefully it sounds like other people are out there doing it as well, which is great. At the most basic, I support the show as a long-delayed gesture of gratitude. This is where it started to get really interesting for me.
Mm-hmm.
Your show helped me stay sane during the pandemic work-at-home adjustment period. Like a million folks, the whole, quote, mental health, quote, thing came front and center during the pandemic. So I can't understate what your show has done for me and probably a lot of other people in that regard. It was also during this time that I started getting back into guitar after a long hiatus. So the show went hand in hand with resparking the interest in guitar and guitar gear.
Nice.
Here's another interlude. The reason why this, and we've gotten a couple notes like this before, but honestly, like that meant so much to me and I know Tony because we were really struggling to keep this going during that time.
It was not easy.
It really wasn't. We were all disconnected. We were having connection issues because now like everybody was soaking broadband. It made
bandwidth.
It yeah, that's what I meant. They were sucking up the bandwidth with the broadband.
That's what I'm here for, Todd.
But it was very difficult because of all of these things. We weren't in the same room. It was so different for us, and there was a couple times where we were like, what do we do? Do we just try to keep this thing going?
Yeah. I'm glad we did.
I'm so glad we did as well. It wasn't easy, but this is the payoff for that. So that meant a lot. Also, he says the long answer is more philosophical. Well, let me read on. I'm an economist / finance investments guy. I should probably call him because I'm a mess with that stuff. So
hopefully not a hedge fund manager.
Yeah. So I think a lot about value generation, economic or otherwise. There's a lot of, quote, free information and entertainment on the internet between YouTube, podcasts, forums, etc. And it only feels fair that content generators, especially the good ones, get supported, if not compensated for the value or benefit they create. Without that support, most likely the quality of content on the internet will deteriorate. And we all know there is so much garbage out there already. Yes, I would agree with that. And as a musician, I am of course familiar with the seeming devaluation of music in the streaming era. So it's even more imperative that we support content and art creators. With that in mind, I made a commitment to myself this year to start explicitly supporting those creators that have given me so much benefit for essentially free. For example, I'm a big fan of visual art and animation work, my other hobby. So I've become a patron on Patreon on a couple of those creators, as well as have either inspired my artwork or provided so much learning. Anyways, Todd, thank you so much for what you do. And Tony, and please keep it up. Enrico.
Nice. That is a nice letter.
That's a very nice letter.
It warms the cockles of my soul.
Warms the cockles of me soul. Yes, it does.
It really
absolutely
does.
does.
No.
And it makes you think like, yeah, there's great stuff out there that people are working hard to make. And this isn't just, we're not patting ourselves on the back. There's loads of demo guys and people who are doing like, super long videos and stuff. Actually, one of those guys I just recently kind of paired up with on via Flint Effects. He did. I just sent him a couple stompers, and I asked him. I said, "Hey, tell me what you think," because I like his content. He's really good at it, and his name is Matthew Dale. And he's got a great show on YouTube. Talks about gear, talks about recording, talks about all kinds of that stuff. And he's very competent and he's very well spoken. And I enjoy it and I learn a lot. And he's like, yeah, absolutely, I'll try him out. Did a Flint Effects post for it. But there's tons of people like that out there doing these things, not just in music, but in all kinds of things. And I love the point that he made about there's so much garbage that we get for free. I think that's okay. but for the good stuff, let's support that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyways, so that's what I got to say about that.
Well, thanks, Enrico.
Yes, that meant a great deal to us, so thank you very much. And speaking of the money thing with music and digital and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I've got an EP coming out tomorrow, which would be last week.
Is this an announcement or your music world this week?
No, that's just an announcement.
Okay.
It's not my music world this week.
Okay.
I don't think that is.
No, we're on announcements.
That's okay. I got another one. Anyways,
you got a bunch up your sleeve.
But to that point, it's like, yay.
Well, it is. That's a big deal.
It is a yay, but it's also like we're not going to make two nickels rub together over that.
Maybe not.
And we put in loads of work and lots of money and stuff.
But if people download it enough times on Spotify or request it and keep playing it 1 million times, you might get a check for 25 cents.
I could, if I'm lucky. Anyways, I think we all know the deal there. So support your friends, support the makers, whoever they are. And
and if you have a friend or friends in bands, help them out. Buy a T-shirt.
Do something.
Buy a CD if they have a CD available. Buy a poster. Help them out. It's the whole music industry has changed dramatically. There's no real big record deals. There's a handful, but most of the musicians in this country, around the world even, they're putting their own stuff out and not making a lot of money.
Not a lot.
And
not a lot. But most of the people that are listening to the show are still making music regardless of that. Yeah. And to you I say,
for those about to rock,
yes,
I salute you.
Yes, indeed. That's what we do.
Yes.
Okay. So, what's going on in our music worlds this week? Tony.
Yes.
Tanya.
Yes.
Polanski.
All of us are here.
Yes. The Besweatered.
The Besweatered. Now, this is I wouldn't call this a sweater. It's kind of a, what would you call that?
It's like a colored undershirt.
It's like a waffle shirt.
Okay.
It's a waffle shirt.
The waffle shirt. The be waffle
Not
shirt.
Not a crepe shirt, but a waffle shirt.
Right. What's going on?
So this week, this is kind of fun, and I always enjoy sharing tips.
Right, that's loud ice, isn't it?
It's
it's
obnoxious.
That's not what I do. I don't do that here.
It's obnoxious. You yell at me for crinkling stuff into the microphone. But yeah, it's okay for you to dump the ice in my music world this week.
Yes, go ahead.
So anyhow, I always enjoy sharing tips and treasures with our listeners. And this week's tip and treasure actually resulted in me purchasing another guitar. But wait.
There's more.
There's more. So a while back, I needed a case for a Gretsch. I went to, it's called proaudiostar.com. It's a online retailer. I think they sell a little bit of everything, but they have a fair amount of musical gear. And they had a Gretsch case that I needed at a very good price. And they're based in Virginia, so it took literally a day to get here. So I said, great, I've got the case. This is perfect. And then of course, once you buy something, you start getting emails, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But they were saying, hey, we've got Guild guitars, many models 50 to 70% off.
Whoa.
I love Guild guitars, right? Mm-hmm. No doubt about that. I do love them. And so I go on. I said, well, let me just see what they have. Well, Guild came out with this version of a Starfire that really never existed. And it's a 3 pickup with
kind of like a Riviera, just with a horn.
Well, maybe. There was a P93 Riviera that had 3 pickups, but
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I knew that's what you were talking about, but most Rivieras only have 2 pickups. But this one has a 6-in-line headstock, and this headstock design is something that Guild only used for a very short period of time in the 60s, and never on a Starfire before. So it's kind of a hybrid guitar, but it's really cool. And I always said that if I saw one for the right price, I was going to buy it. Now, the ones that they're blowing out are satin white. And I was a little hesitant because I generally don't like white guitars. And I'm usually...
Why?
I don't know.
They make sense on stage. They really do.
Well,
they don't necessarily catch the light, but you can see what
I get that.
You see the guy with the guitar really easy.
And the other part of it being satin, I didn't think I was going to like satin.
Yeah, it's going to be all smudgy and weird.
Yeah, but...
And you have, like... sausage hands.
Why, thank you.
I don't mean that in their size. I mean, like, anything you touch is like, who rubbed a hamburger across this?
Yeah, that's true. I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. Anyhow, so they have this. It's called a Guild Starfire 1 Jet 90. I said, okay. And normally the street price on them is like that's $6.99. That seems to be the going rate. Used, they go for easily $450, $550. That's kind of the typical range. Well, they had the white ones on blowout for $379. But right below that, they had a B-stock version. B-stock meaning it's either a return, there might be a small defect in it. They have some various terminologies. Generally, it's a returned instrument. But that was only $349. So I said, you know what? I'm going to roll the dice and save that extra $30. And I'm so glad that I did because so the guitar came in. Literally, I ordered it on a Friday. It was at my house on Saturday.
What?
I ordered it on Friday. It was at my house on Saturday.
Wow.
And I fully expected it.
It's like they got a truck just driving around.
Well, probably with as many guitars as I buy, they probably do. Anyhow, the guitar came in. I just can't get over how happy I am. This is a $350 guitar. It's not like it's, like some prized possession or anything, but it's a really nice guitar.
It is.
And
it feels real solid too. Nothing about it really is like
no
cheap feeling, which is good. You don't want that in a guitar, obviously.
Yeah. And the pickups are very cool. They're similar to P90s. They're based on the early Franz pickups that were in old, like late 50s, early 60s guilds. And so they're single coil pickups. But the really cool thing about this guitar is it's got a 6-way rotary switch that combines the pickups in various ways. And I mean, tonally, you can get a lot of different sounds out of this guitar. So I mean, I just, like I said, I was very happy with it. I usually, when I get a new guitar, I'll put new strings on because I like to run my, jazz boxes. We'll call it a jazz box, a semi-hollow, with 11 to 48 strings. So I had to make a couple of tweaks and adjustments. It has a Guild Bigsby style tremolo, so I put a Tone Pros roller bridge on it. Mm-hmm. And while I was at it, I'm a sucker for Grover tuners, and I got a set of the Cluson style Grovers. So it's basically a typical, like a nice Grover tuner, but it's in a Cluson style backing, and it drops right into if you have a 6-in-line Fender or anything like that. Really smooth machines and everything. So I'm just really happy with this guitar, and I'm happy that this place, Pro Audio Star, exists. I suggest checking out. They've got all kinds of things, and they have a lot of B-stock items. I don't know if they're a clearinghouse for other places, but as of this recording, they still had at least one more
Marshall cabinet there.
Oh, that's right.
Super cheap, as well as a Supro cabinet.
That's right.
Yeah.
So go and check them out. I mean, it's worth a try. You might find something you like, and you might get a really good deal on it. I feel like
Drew Foppy likes to shop there too.
Well, there you go.
And if he likes to shop there, then everybody should like to.
So there you have it. That's my music world this week.
That is fantastic. Jared, anything? No? Okay. No, he's picking up his wife from the airport. It's always them.
I'm thinking of selling my Marshalls.
Yeah, right. Anyways, the two things that came up this week. I've been playing the jazz bass that I got, the killer deal that I talked about before that I'm not going to rehash.
Yep.
But fortunately, so I don't have a bass amp at home.
Oh.
I have the Jack Cassaday bass. And now this one.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do have,
you also have a Stinky bass too.
I do have Stinky. Stinky still lives. Someday maybe I'll sell that. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe if do it for like auction for like a really good cause or something like that.
Yeah, for stinky people.
Yeah. Anyways, but what I do have is I've got the Valaton GP200, which is a multi-effects unit.
But isn't that for a guitar?
It is for bass and guitar. And it is so stupid easy to use. And so I was like, oh, perfect.
Sounds perfect for you.
Perfect for me. So I put that down on the floor and had a fantastic time playing through that. So it got some great sounds.
So what kind of is
those
it?
Things,
does it
by
have
the
a
way,
bass modeler in it?
Huh?
Or I mean amp modeler in it?
It's got
the Valatron?
Yeah, it's got amp modelers, cab. So it's not a.
Does it
calling
have,
it a modeler is maybe different. That's almost like an archaic term, I guess.
Okay.
It's got amps. It's got cabs. It's got all.
Do
the
they have
effects
bass
in it.
amps in it?
Bass amps.
Do they have bass cabinets?
Bass
in it?
cabinets.
Well, there you go.
They got the whole 9 yards and slew of effects. And it's super easy to use with a pedal. It's got a pedal built into it. It's like it's $350 on Amazon, $299 on Reverb, and they have junior versions of this that doesn't have the pedal. I seriously would recommend if bedroom players or people that have to play at night, if you don't have a Stomp and a Torpedo X and all that business, this is a really, really good way to go. They featured it on Andertons.
Oh, yeah.
Up against the quad core, and they were both like, how do we say that this is as good or better than the quad core without feeling like, yeah, seriously, it's a great video. Highly recommend checking that out if you're at all remotely interested in this. I really like the unit. And it allows me to play bass so I don't have to totally screw up all my whole other rig and all that business.
Right.
So, and I can experiment with all kinds of bass effects that I don't have laying around, so I don't have to just go straight into an amp. Fantastic piece of gear.
Nice.
And then I also got down to see my good pal Chase Gullett, who had
Chase.
a couple. He said, "Hey, I got a couple new guitars. Come check them out." And I went down, and there's he's got a. It's not really a TV white, and it's not a TV yellow. It's lighter than it's much lighter than a TV. It's like a nicotined white. The whole guitar looks like a nicotine nitro white, and it's his signature Challenger model. That guitar is killer.
Really?
Yeah, it's really, really cool, and I'm trying to get. I think Billy should buy it because it's for sale. So, anyways, so that was fun. I always love seeing Chase and hanging out and talking guitars and seeing what new things he's making down there. And if you're interested in that thing I just mentioned, check out his Instagram. You can see the guitar itself. I think he called it Banana Puddin'.
Banana pudding.
It's not banana colored. It's kind of like the inside of a banana color almost, but it's not like yellow. Fantastic guitar. So anyway, speaking of banana pudding.
I love banana pudding.
Tour Gear has these amazing patch cables that you just got to get yourself some.
Are they coming in banana pudding color now?
They don't. They only come in black, just like Henry Ford.
You can have any color you want so long as it's black.
That's right. Right. But the best part about it is they're super affordable.
Yeah.
And I have to pick up a couple more different lengths because I got all these little board things going on all over the place, and I've stretched myself thin.
And it's just a matter of time before you start buying bass effects and start plugging it into the effects loop of your Valatron 200.
No, I don't have to. It's already in there. Anyways, if you go to tourgeardesigns.com, load up your cart.
Load it up.
Just get as many as you can, jam it all in there, and then in the coupon code, put the guitar knobs. You're going to save 10% on your order. It's going to make you feel really good about yourself.
And they come fast. They're based in Canada.
They are.
And my God, they just shoot them out. And God bless the Canadian postal system.
Yes.
And the American postal system.
Yes. They need it.
Yes.
Anyways, so thank you to Tour Gear for sponsoring our non-existent Four on the Floor tonight. But anyways...
Let me get a little bit of this.
Yes.
Todd, what's your 4 on the floor?
No, I can't do that.
I know you can't.
It's kind of the thing. I can't really divulge that.
I know.
I mean, I can, but
well, but it wouldn't be fair.
Nobody wants to know that.
It wouldn't be fair to all the players.
Yeah, nobody wants to know that.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, but what we do have, we have a bunch of stuff that we just wanted to talk about to yous.
Hey, Todd. Speaking of Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah. Right.
You're supposed to fill in after that.
What am I supposed to say?
I don't know. What do you have next on your agenda?
Mm-hmm. Well, we took the opportunity to spend some time together, Tony and I, at Tony's shop. Just a couple of dopes and a few Telecasters and
a Telecast. What? One Telecaster.
One Telecaster. But you have other Telecasters there.
Well, I do.
All right.
And then one of my, it's a reissue, Epiphone Wilshire.
That's right. So, point being,
why did we do that? Why were we there?
Well, we got these great pickups from House of Tone in the UK, and they're going to be on the show real soon.
Oh, I can't wait!
And they sent us a couple of sets of pickups, and we had some fun putting them in.
Yeah, we tried it. We did the factory stock pickups versus the pickups that they sent. Now, in my guitar, the Wilshire, it has 2 P90s.
Yeah.
And in Todd's guitar, it's standard tele setup.
Yeah, it's a classic vibe.
Yeah, Squire 50s, classic vibe, whatever it's called. And I will say, just strictly, I mean, I didn't do any professional recording or anything like that, but to my ear, the difference was incredible. I mean, it really was, especially in your guitar.
Yeah.
I mean, the Epiphone P90s that were in mine were okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you could get by with them, but they were a little bit, I guess I would say, they were maybe too bright, painful.
Yeah.
They were
thin.
Well, they broke up nicely.
Yeah.
But just they were definitely skewed to mids and mid uppers.
Yeah.
Versus they didn't have a lot of bottom end bass tone.
Yeah.
And so we popped this P90 set, and I think we just requested like his standard, stock P90s. And man, what a difference! I mean, they just it really did help bring that guitar to life. And they were darker. I will say that, but that's not a bad thing because, I learned a long time ago that the stage sound that you hear isn't always pleasing to the audience. You know, and I think the closer you are to an amplifier, you kind of feel like you need that high end.
It's almost always
too bright.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. It's too bright. It's almost always. It's just like it's starting to hurt my ears. You know, so making it a little bit darker.
Yeah,
especially in a mix is.
Yeah. And I mean, I was very impressed. I mean, they came with a typical Gibson braided cable. Yeah, braided shield cable. Real easy to hook into the guitar. Basically run the wires, solder them up, and you're good to go. But in Todd's guitar, the Squire Telecaster, I think the difference was night and day.
It was pretty remarkable. I mean, when we got done with that, and they were a bit hotter. Yeah, these were the Texas T's.
We asked them, the Texas T's. So they're going to be they should be a little bit hotter than stock Telecaster pickups.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, just the response was better. The overall EQ was better.
Yeah.
The balance was better between the two pickups.
The balance was way better between the two. And you mentioned the EQ. When I dug into it, the brights weren't the only thing you heard, and it didn't woof out. Mm-hmm. And I was really surprised. And I had that thing hooked up. I'm like, Tony, you got to play this. Very, very impressive. And I'm not a neck pickup gent, but I was like, check out the neck pickup.
Yeah.
Because there
was clarity in the neck, and a lot of times
really great sound and stuff.
In the neck position, it gets very muddy. It gets very flubby.
Right.
And
which also means that when you hit that middle, it's like, boom, Keith is in the room. Mm-hmm. Which it was fun playing chords in that middle position. I never do that.
Well, your original Tully, he said you disconnected the switch or you taped the switch into the lead position only, if I remember right.
I did.
I know you. I know you did. I saw you do it. Well, not really.
Yeah.
I heard that you did it.
Yes.
But anyhow, I can't wait to talk to those guys or that guy. I'm guessing it's that guy.
We're going to find out.
We'll find out. We'll get the whole 411 on this.
It's going to be great.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's always fun to talk. You know, we obviously Jared was our main pickup guy for a long time. We've had a couple of other pickup winders on, and it's always interesting to see what their take is on, you know, what's the vintage tone? What's the perfect vintage tone? What's
and here's the weird thing is like pickups, you know, there's thousands of overdrive pedals.
Billions.
Right?
Billions
of overdrive pedals.
Yes.
And we're all okay with that.
Yeah.
Because, yes, keep making them. Because we like all the different things for all the different reasons. Pickups kind of get it's a pickup. How different can it be? I mean, that is a thing. And we've just been so pleased to find out, you know, between different pickup makers that we've either had on the show or and have gotten to experience them. It's a wonderful world of pickups, just like pedals out there too. So really cool.
I mean, the key, if you're going to be in the pickup business, is consistency. And, well, first, maybe producing a tone that everyone likes. And then secondly, consistency. Because, you know, there are several pickup makers that I put in a lot of my guitars. And that's one of the reasons I know kind of what to expect. And if for some reason it didn't quite sound that way, either I did something wrong or the pickup isn't quite right. And so I like having that consistency, and obviously the tone is probably the most important part of that.
I'm going to equate this to sushi.
Okay.
I recently took my daughter out to explore a little bit more in the sushi world. We had a nice daddy-daughter date, and I took her out, and I said, we were at a new place, and I said, all right, we're going to get the tuna tataki, which is a lightly seared tuna with like a vinaigrette kind of thing on it, right?
Sesame seeds?
Vinegar.
Little sesame seeds?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, and it's, you know, it's delicious.
Yeah.
But not everybody does it right. The first place that I went to with my dear old friend, Todd Creighton, it's the first time I ever had sushi.
Oh, wow.
First time. And we went into like a proper, this is in Orange County, California, a proper sushi restaurant. We were the only, I'm not kidding about this, we were the only non-Japanese people in the restaurant.
Wow.
And
what was the name of that restaurant?
I don't even remember.
Next time, come prepared.
It was a long time ago. But anyways, the first thing he ordered was this tuna tataki. And it's like, I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. And I ate it, and I said, that was the best thing I've ever tasted in my whole life. Like, it knocked my socks off. And from then on, I was like, the next, we started exploring. He'd take me to all these other places, and we'd always order tataki first.
So what does that have to do with guitar pickups?
Well, I'm getting there. I explained to my daughter, if you have good tuna tataki, then you know what bad tuna tataki is like.
Or if you have good sushi, you know what bad sushi tastes like.
But even specifically, it's not bad like you're going to throw up or something. It's just not right. It's not prepared well.
I've had that.
Yeah. Saving my story. So the point is, she'd never really considered things like that, right? And so she's like, wow, I never really thought about thinking about new things compared to, you know, anyways, it was a great learning moment. She was very happy and thankful. So that's just like guitar pickup. See?
Well, I kind of missed the point, but
I
do like talking about sushi.
I'm going to swing back around because you just said I know what good guitar pickups sound like, so I can better assess new ones.
Yes.
If they are up to par.
Right.
That's my story.
Wow.
You like that? Tuna tataki.
I love it.
Anyways, so they're going to be on the show. We're going to talk all about pickups. It's going to be fantastic.
What's the company again?
House of Tone Pickups.
House of Tone. Oh, and they came in these beautiful wood boxes.
Yeah.
I mean,
really
this
nice
was
setup.
The packaging, pretty top notch.
Yeah, pretty good stuff. Let's see. So let me check that off the list.
Yes.
Also,
What?
I'm going to switch away from gear real quick.
Okay.
So Bruce Bacon, bless his soul out there. He said, "Hey, I'm going to the Kim Thale Guitar Center. I don't know. It's not really a meet and greet, but it was a big interview. It was like the interview, and all the people got to go and listen to him and ask questions and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. But did he play?
I'm not sure. I don't know if he played because I haven't seen it yet. They just posted it to YouTube like today.
Okay.
So I haven't seen it, but Bruce he says, "Hey, I'm going to this thing."
Should we let people know who Kim Thale was?
Sure. Oh yeah, Kim Thale, guitarist for Soundgarden.
Yes.
Who was a big early influence on me. That's who I famously, the reason I bought a Peony amp or tried to buy a Peony amp because I didn't know any better and I was a little doofus.
Listen to the couple episodes ago. You'll hear all about it.
But I personally kind of locked into him and a couple other players that had a kind of a droney thing going on. I loved it. Anyways, so Kim Thale, personal guitar hero out there, one of several. Bruce, knowing that.
And the reason that Guitar Center had...
Because he's got this reissue signature Guild.
Guild has reissued his... it's basically the Guild version of an SG, although it's slightly
40
offset.
years late, but whatever.
Yeah, really.
Maybe
Come on,
40,
guys.
But anyways.
Let's see, his is a
30.
78.
Yeah, but his stuff
yeah,
is, okay, anyways.
I know. Yes,
So,
Todd.
Anyways, Bruce said, "Hey, I'm going to this thing. If you have any questions for Kim, I will be happy to ask you, and I am going to invite him on the show." And I'm like, "What? That's so cool!" I was absolutely. It warms the cockles of me soul. Yes. So that was really neat. So I slung out a few questions at him. I think maybe a little bit too late, but he said it was incredibly informative and a really neat experience. So that's posted. If you go check that out, I'm sure it's on YouTube. I know that there are at least 2 videos of the full thing on YouTube.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so that was kind of a cool thing, and that got us to talking about who else would we love to see do that? I feel like that hasn't been a thing in a while.
Yeah, it really hasn't.
They used to do that.
Oh, yeah,
because I haven't heard of that in dang near 10 years.
They would have those seminars and different things. All the shredder noodling guys would always be at guitar centers.
Yeah,
doing that.
I wonder. I don't know if that had to do anything with the pandemic or if it just kind of got burnt out.
It kind of phased out even pre-pandemic.
But they sold out. I mean, it was a really big crowd, and they were just like, "Oh my gosh, we can't believe the response that we got." And even Kim Thale at the beginning says that. It's like, "Wow, I'm blown away by this." So, anyways, Tony, if Guitar Center phoned us up and said, "Hey, guitar knobs, buds, pals, chums,
yes,
who would you like to have on the show to do one of these things? We'll call you up. Heck, you can even interview them." Ooh. So Tony,
yes, Todd,
who would you pick? Top 3.
Pick for what?
No, top 4. Screw it.
Oh, no, you don't.
Yeah, yes, I do.
I'm giving you 3.
3, okay, fine.
I'm giving you 3.
All right.
So these are the three guitar players that I think would be good for this type of meet and greet interview kind of thing, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, I mean, the one guy I would just love to meet while he's still alive is Pete Townsend. And I'd love to interview him and just kind of pick his brain a little bit, talk about the good old days of Marshall amplifiers And I think, I mean, that guy has done so much in so many years that, I mean, it's just, his stories just have to be fascinating. So that would be my first choice.
Okay.
Now, I don't necessarily listen to a lot of noodling music kind of stuff, but from a technical standpoint, I think Paul Gilbert would be an interesting guy. And I think actually Paul used to do a lot of those.
He's very active about talking and playing and
but I think
stuff.
he did a lot of the Guitar Center tours back in the day, back in the 90s. But anyhow, I did get a chance to see him at one of the last Deke Dickerson's Geek Fest that was part of NAMM, or in conjunction with NAMM. And at the time I wasn't that thrilled about seeing Paul Gilbert, but I'll tell you what, he won me over because he was just that good, and just a solid player. Yeah, and he had a cool band with him. And I think the third, my third choice is going to be Brian Setzer.
Ooh.
To me, the guy was, now granted, he didn't originate the rockabilly sound, but he was, certainly in my life, one of the top rockabilly players. And as it turns out, a pretty damn good musician along the way, even the stuff that he does with his, the Brian Setzer Orchestra.
Yeah.
I mean, every time I see new stuff that he does, it just amazes me. So I think he'd be another guy that has a lot of stories of the road and such. So those are my three.
Yes.
What about you, Todd? What are you thinking? Who would you like to see?
This is very difficult. Very, very difficult. This is like the hard. This is kind of like a would you rather, but not. It's different. But I think the first person that came to my mind was Mike Campbell.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
Tom
choice.
Petty's right-hand man.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, lifetime of story and a total gear fiend. So it'd be very interesting to learn about some of his gear, because he's not like, he's kind of like self-taught. He wasn't a student of guitar. And I think it's always interesting to hear from those kind of people, because that's kind of my kind of people, kind of like me. And like, well, what can I learn from the way that you did that?
That's a cool choice.
I would love that. And I have a huge place in my heart for Petty and the Breakers. So the second person would be, I think, Rick Nielsen.
Ooh.
I think it would just be really fun to hear from that guy. And actually, we literally bumped into him at NAMM when we were talking to Beatronics.
Are you serious?
Yes. I was standing there and I was like, "That's Rick Nielsen," and he turns and he gives me the fingers. I'm like, "Well, yeah, the fingers." Yeah, he was like, right there. It's kind of neat. Anyways, but that doesn't really count for anything. Just like, that's I whatever. It'd be great to let him just talk and recount stories. Like, I guess to your point, how things were different then.
Oh,
how are they?
Yeah.
Where are they now? What has he seen? Some of his favorites and all that good stuff.
Interesting. That's a good choice.
And then I would also love to hear from Troy Van Leeuwen.
Oh.
Because Queens, I freaking love the Queens of the Stone Age. And he is such a unique player and brings very, very interesting things to the table that are not necessarily, hey, here's a bunch of chords I wrote. He's kind of the color man up there. And I think that would be an interesting thing to hear about, and his gear choices, how he came to those things and all that, and he's a heck of a showman. So
yeah,
I think those would be three that I would.
Those are three excellent choices.
Like to see. So Guitar Center, make that happen, okay?
Yeah, nice.
I mean, heck, we could try to make that happen. Here. I mean, we do all the time. We just haven't had them on yet. Yet. So anyways, thanks, Roundabout Way. Thanks, Bruce Bacon, for including me in your little part of fun there. And let's see we got more stuff here. Let me cross this off the list. We've got a pedal giveaway that I wanted to announce.
Oh.
We've got the Daredevil hype. Now, on the last one of the last episodes we had, I think two or three episodes ago, we had Johnny from Daredevil.
Yep.
And I acquired a hype pedal because I wanted to get that in the hands of one of our patrons. Now, when we do giveaways, as I always mention, we give them away to the patrons. A long time ago, I was doing it like, we're going to do a giveaway on Instagram. And, people that I didn't even know if listened to the show. So I stopped that pretty quick. Once we actually started the Patreon thing. So that pedal is going to land in somebody's lap, and I'm very excited about this. So we're going to do a post on Instagram. You can learn more about that.
Yep.
And that pedal it's a set boost. It's a colored set boost, and you can actually trim how much boost you want on the inside, but that's a set it and forget it kind of thing. Really cool. Plugged it into my rig at the front, at the end, in the middle, the whole 9 yards, and gave a bunch of different sounds, and it was really cool.
Nice.
So, speaking of pedals, I've been in long conversations with Hello Sailor.
Hello, Sailor.
Hello, Sailor. And he sent me, I asked him to build these two. We've kind of talked about it a little bit, but I ended up with, fuzz pedal and, two of them. And they're just different enough, and I'm A-Bing, and I'm like, wow, which one do I like the most? And he did them with the whole story about the silk or the Chinese brocade that he brought back.
Oh,
from the war,
yeah.
And they're covered in that, and so
and that's what you had your sushi on.
Yes, exactly, and they are the Abbey Road fuzzes that he does, which is a unique sound. It's a unique fuzz, and it's got 3 settings on it, 2 knobs. And he's using these great enclosures. Really like these enclosures a lot. So it's been kind of fun being those. And I wanted to just sort of publicly give Joe a huge thank you for doing that. He was incredibly gracious with his time and materials, and we've had a really awesome time building these things up. And I consider him a dear friend from across the water. I hope I get to meet him in person someday. We'll have a big giant hug it out.
Not So what is this red pedal that I see over here?
Getting to that, Tony.
The
midst of all this,
yes,
not to be outdone, not to outdo his own self, he didn't want to just leave it there.
Okay.
He said, "You know what? I'm gonna send you something else, Todd." And I was like, "What? You're kidding me, man." And it's hilarious because he always sends these like jankified. The boxes are all like, "What is this? How did you cobble this box?" But anyways, what came in this box? You ask, Tony.
Yes. What came in this box?
A beautiful red. It's like a candy apple red.
That's definitely candy apple.
It is a mini. It's like a mini Klon enclosure.
Yeah, it's got like
even on the inside.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really neat. And it says on the back, "Would you rather?" with an anchor, and it said, "So you're walking down," and then it says ... To which I had to turn it over, and he's got one of his stickers on here that says "Clapton is God," and it has the old lady with the dog walking down the street. Very clever. This is his Rangemaster.
Nice.
And it is heavy duty hardware. Look at this toggle.
That toggle switch
it's like
kills me.
It's like off of a naval destroyer.
It probably is.
Literally. He wants to give this away.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes, kidding. No, not kidding. No, yes, no kidding.
Yes,
that's
no
what I mean.
Not kidding.
We're going to give this pedal away.
Nice.
So we will be choosing one of our patrons to give this away to.
Nice.
And I'm very excited about this. We will post this up on Instagram as well. So be looking out for that, patrons. All kinds of good stuff is falling in our lap right here. And the best part is like we're forwarding it on.
Yeah. Well, that's what we should do.
Yeah. So very, very cool. Joe Halliday, you're a saint. And
the patron saint
of
guitar pedals.
Guitar pedals, yes. That's
Saint Joseph.
Saint Joseph. Yes. Oh, yeah. His name's Joe. Duh. Why didn't I get that? Let's see. I think we've got one more thing, and then we can get on our way. Future guest, Tony.
Tell me.
You were about to ask me.
Todd, who do we have coming up?
Well, let me tell you. This is fun because we've got the calendar loaded till the end of November at least.
Look at that.
Coming up on the show, everybody.
Oh, my goodness.
We've got Ralph Gottschalk.
Yes. What?
Yes. He's got this brand new pedal out. It's called the Fuzzlands.
I guess it's a fuzz pedal.
It's a fuzz pedal.
Ah.
It's like 3 fuzz pedals. It is composed of JFET, germanium, and silicon transistors arranged in a 3-toggle formation. So it's like, it's cool. You get to make toggles.
Mix and match.
Mix and match. Yes, it's
nice.
really, really cool. Loads of different tones on that thing.
Yeah.
And they all sound great in their own way. So we're going to talk to him. We also have coming up Hank Donovan, who was one of our very first guests, Rattlesnake Cables.
Oh, Rattlesnake Cables.
Yeah. So
actually, I think that's before I came on board.
It might be. And here's the crazy thing. I'm still using the same 2 cables that I got way back then.
Wow.
Gigging with them regularly. They are outstanding
That was
cables.
like 30 years ago, right?
It may be. So he hit me up and he says, hey, I got things going on. Can I? Absolutely, man. Let's get you on the show. So we're going to be talking to him.
Nice.
We are also going to be talking with Chris Gill. Chris Gill was a writer for Guitar World and Guitar Player and like all the guitar magazines, I believe. Chris, if I misrepresented you, I apologize. But he's been a writer for the guitar industry for well over 30 years.
Nice.
He just did a tour of guitar stores in Japan. And when I found that out, I was like, Chris, we got to get you on the show, man. Have us tell us about this. So he's coming on the show. And he did the Japanese Pedals 101
Right. I remember
a while back. Then we've got a gentleman named Rolf Ruiz from Spicy Pedals. Spicy Pedals.
Spicy.
And I believe he's in Texas.
Okay.
He's making some really cool stuff, so he's going to be on the show.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
Everything except, the pedals are about the same size. But then we've got Jamie Muir from Super Cool Pedals, who's got the Thneed pedal out, and he's got other really cool pedals too, but that one is blowing up right now.
Yeah.
So he's going to be on. That's a lot of guests, man.
Holy cow.
That's a lot of people hanging out. And then we got Crazy Tube Circuits from Greece coming on.
Nice.
And we also have Victor Meneses from Spur Audio in Mexico.
Oh, wow.
Doing some cool stuff down there. So I found this guy and I'm like, hey, man, we need to get you on the show. He's like, absolutely, let's do it. We've got so many great guests coming up, and we're really excited about that.
Nice.
And we would love to hear if you have other guests that you were like, why don't you guys get these on the show? We do try to check out everybody that people send us. Some people don't want to do it. Some people can't do it. Some people, it's just time zone stuff. Some people don't have enough. There's all kinds of reasons.
Right.
Right. Anyways, some people just don't want to talk to us.
Well, they want to talk to me, but not
mostly,
you.
yeah, that's true. That's probably true. Anyways, lots of great things going on the podcast. Most of all, we're thrilled that you continue to listen to our show. And if this is your first time, we're thrilled that you're going to that you will continue to listen to our show, or I'm going to send Jared after you.
You will listen to
You
every
will like it.
podcast.
Anyways, you know what time it is?
It's time for Would Ya Rather?
That was awful. That's right. We've got that going on. Let me see here. We had a lovely Would You Rather sent in from Gregory Randall. I'll go ahead and do this one. I never do them.
Do it.
Do you want to do it?
No, I insist.
You want me to do it?
I want you to do it.
I've been talking the whole. You do it. I talk
I
too
don't
much.
want. I talked.
Here, you do it.
I did the whole middle
Here,
section.
Do it.
Oh,
I'm blowing
my
it up so
God.
you can see it. Okay, go ahead, Tony.
Okay.
It's your time.
It's
your time.
Is it my moment?
Tony. Surprise, surprise.
I'm ready
surprise,
for my.
surprise.
I'm ready for my close up,
Go.
Mr. DeMille.
Go.
Okay. So your flight was delayed,
Uh-huh.
and you and your bandmates are rushing to the hall where you will play tonight. As you frantically unload your gear and get set up, you realize your guitar's not there. The stage manager, seeing you in distress, says, "Relax. It's the ghost of Frank Zappa, man.
Yes.
Relax, man. The last band
You
left-
should have worn the other dress. Hey.
The last band left behind 2 guitars, and you can use either one, man."
Okay.
The first guitar is a mid-70s Gibson Les Paul that has had, let's say, a minor major headstock break, repaired with our favorite, duct tape. You can fix anything with duct tape. The tape covers up the first 4 frets of the fretboard, and it is unknown if that part of the fretboard can be used. The second guitar is a mid-70s Fender Telecaster that has lost the screws to bolt the neck to the body. And once again, our friend, duct tape, has been used and is brought to the rescue.
Yeah.
The last 6 frets are covered with duct tape, and it is unknown if that part of the fretboard can be used. Both guitars are, how shall we say, a bit wiggly.
Wiggly.
1 minute to showtime.
Jerry would say, me likey.
1 minute to showtime. The stage manager hands you a roll of duct tape. Would you rather play the Telecaster or the Les Paul?
So, Tony, what would you be doing?
Well, I am a bit concerned about no bolts in a Telecaster. But then again, I don't usually go up that high on the neck, 5 and under. That's my territory.
Yeah.
I don't know if the mid-70s Les Paul that has a headstock break would be much better. And especially if the first 4 frets are covered up in duct tape. I'm just going to have to risk
Sounds
it.
very dicey.
Either one of them. They could just bust apart at any moment because although duct tape is good at some things, it's not good at everything.
No.
But I think I'm going to take my chances with the Telecaster because at least the frets that I normally would use are open. And, I think if you treat it gingerly, and in the mid-70s, the neck pockets were not that tight. Usually you can get away with a lot of sins with the tight neck pocket.
Uh-huh.
But, yeah, in that era, they kind of wore out their templates a little bit, let's
I
just
see.
say.
Okay.
So it's going to be
So
tricky.
Gregory really did a good one on this one.
Well, it's a tough. It's a no-win situation.
Yeah.
This is worse and worser.
Yes.
So, but I think just from my comfort level, let's go with the Telecaster.
Okay.
Who knows? Somebody out there might have a couple of drywall screws that I can pop in there real quick.
Possibly, or at least a couple of popsicle sticks. Well, I got to do the same thing because I have no business in the widdly part of the world. I mean, in our songs when we play live, I do spend some time down there. But by and large,
You're 12 and
I
under.
do custom work.
By and large, I do custom work.
Yeah. So Yeah, I think I'd have to do the Telecaster too. Both of those are really terrible situations, though.
Yeah, that's just no win.
And I don't gingerly anything on the guitar. Chase is always getting after me because he says I meat fist everything. Which, I don't know. I guess I gorilla grip it, whatever.
Wow.
I try not to, but what are you going to do?
Old habits die hard.
Yeah. Anyways, so thank you, Gregory Randall. And I'd be curious, what would you all do? Go ahead and send that to us.
Yeah.
We'll read them out on the air.
And when you do that, send us a would you rather that you'd like us to read
Yes.
and answer.
Think you can do better than Gregory Randall?
Nah, maybe not.
Prove it.
Show me your leadership capabilities.
That's my Bill Haters. He's the best.
Take a look at meet my little friends.
No.
Welcome.
You blew that.
Welcome,
I was well on my way
welcome to the sports fans.
To the stars with this. Anyways.
Say hello to my little friends.
What time is it?
It's time to thank some people. At this point of the show, Todd, there's a special group of people we love to thank. These are our executive producers. Now, an executive producer makes this show possible. Did you know that?
I do know that.
Okay.
I know that every single time that we're trying to do this.
That's right. How do you become one?
How do you become one? Tell them.
Go over to patreon.com/the Guitar Knobs. Check out a couple different levels in which you can participate. Become a sponsor, a patron, a benefactor, a hero of the podcast.
True.
All four truths. Each level comes with some very nice thank you gifts, and you get an eligibility to win some pretty darn cool stuff.
Yes.
Like these two pedals that I'm staring at.
That's right.
I'm thinking of going on to Patreon so I can qualify for it.
I think you should.
Okay, I'm going to do that. But as an executive producer, there's one thing more. Todd, what is it?
You get to have your name right on the thing.
Where did Jared come from?
I don't know.
I don't know either. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to read these names. So special thanks to these executive producers. Vader and Pedals, John Helverson, Rick Calhoun, Trevor Gunberg, Elad Mizrahi, Mike D, Richard Kendall, James White, Motander Guitars, Anthony Gemalero, Bill Gola Guitars, John Esterly, Anthony Lathrop, Stefan Lamb, Michael Senchuk, Ken Sayers, Doug Christ, Darren Gregory, Tom Brazen, Rusty Sneeden, Ralph Gottschalk, Don Kloss, Gregory Randall, Brett Hogarth, Eric Hemmer, Stuart George, Michael Furman, James Bell, James Romer, Cameron Pampas, David Tyndall, Trevor Ellenberg, and Christopher Logan.
I like it.
You know, Todd.
Yes, quite well.
We have another group of executive producers. We like to call them our Grand Poobahs.
Yes.
These fine folks are, how shall we say, the top of the heap. The cream of the crop. number ones.
King of the Hill.
There you see. I try to throw you a bone every once in a while.
That.
But, you know, anyhow. So special, very, very special thanks to these Grand Poobahs. Tommy Manasco, Ricardo Iguereda, David Kaminga, Brandon Wound Pickups, Hex Matos, Michio Murakishi, Bob Crouch, Jack Cadian, Sam Jett, Tyler Rhines, LSJ Music Company, John Williams, James Pennington, Steve Keys, Cody Foster, Science of Sound, Brian Robinson. Where did it go? There it went. Jonathan Jerusik, Corey Nigro, Michael Van Zant, Tim Nowak, Jonathan Daly, Martin Cliff, Sean S. David Poe, Billy Spitfire Unlimited, Congregation Gear Demos, Paul Van Eppinger, Scott Sullivan, Great Lakes Guitar Pickups, Matt Hart, Enrico Fernando, and Moon Guitar.
That is correctamundo. Thank you all so very much. You truly are the wind beneath our strings. That's a new one.
Nice.
Yes. I just came up with that right then. I didn't even think of that before. All right. Tony, where can people find you?
Head over to pickguardian.com. Check out some of the things that I do on there. I just, what do I do? I make custom pick guards. You pick the material. You let me know what you need, what you want, what you're trying to do.
Give your guitar a personality.
Let me be the wind beneath your strings.
No, we already used that. You can't use
Let
that
me
for
be
your
the
thing.
pick guard beneath your strings.
Excellent. You can shoot me an email, Todd@theguitarknobs.com. You can also DM me at guitarknobs on Instagram. I would love to hear from you. Tony would love to hear from you. We would all love to hear from you. Send us your DMs. Tell us what's going on in just, whatever you got to share. We'd love to hear from you. Also, please go check out the Valentinos. Our new EP is out called Come and Get It.
Oh.
Yes.
That's a Badfinger reference.
Well, whatever.
Maybe not.
Yeah, not for me, it didn't.
Nah, too bad.
Anyways, so please, I would love for you to listen to that. Even if you hate it, just listen to it. Help me out.
I don't think you're going to hate it.
I don't think you're going to hate it either. It's great driving music.
Yeah.
And also, and if you own an HX Stomp, don't step all over your knobs. Protect your knobs.
Protect your knobs.
Get yourself a stomper.
Yep.
Go to flinteffects.com and go get one of those things. For whatever reason, the black sparkle ones we can't keep in stock. I don't.
Are
understand.
you buying them all, Todd?
No, I'm not. Because to me, it's like I want to see the thing. I want to be like, there's my. Yeah, I have usually hot pink or orange on my actual HX Stomp on my pedal board. Mm-hmm. But for whatever reason, the black sparkle ones, we just keep going through them. Huh. So anyways, go get yourself one of those, and maybe you'll get a color one instead. Who knows? Anyways, thank you all. We hope you have a fantastic guitar week, and we'll be back next week with a guest of fantastic proportions. Subscribe! All right, thanks.
Okay, I didn't know I was supposed to read that part.
Tony. I'm actually really hot. I gotta take this on. My head's not right. This switcher's too hot.
He's too hot. He's too hot to handle. Look out, ladies. Ladies, cover your eyes. Todd's taking his shirt off.
I thought it was gonna be cold in here.
You always leave all the bad words.
This is what
in.
ice sounds like. I don't know what that sounds like.
Here's what a can crush sounds like.
We're not gonna have much on the back end, are we? Well, I mean, I'm not. You got plenty.
I got plenty. I got plenty of back.
They are very, very affordable. That's my daughter calling me. Hello, Jane. You're on the air.
Hey, Dad. So we are trying to. Sorry, am I interrupting?
Well, it's too late now. You're on the air. What do you need?
Okay. So the thing is, we're trying to get an app on the TV. It's free. Anna's using her sign-in. And we need the Apple ID password.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. I'm in a tunnel.
Can you put me in the blooper reel?
What do you mean, can I put you in the blooper reel?
Wait, am I not on air?
Yeah.
Of course you are.
I am?
We're talking to Scott Ian from Anthrax.
What? Can you hear me? I feel like you're joking.
Edit it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I sound like a moron.
Can we start it from the beginning again?
Yeah. And away we go.
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.